Joining us right now on the show is the quarterback of that Super Bowl winning team. Love having Jim McMahon here on the show, back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Jim?
Doing great, Rich. How's it going?
I'm great. Are you at the Hall of Fame? Are you in Canton, Ohio today, Jim?
Yes,
for this?
I'm in Canton, Ohio, sitting at the Hall of Fame in one of the side rooms.
Okay.
But, yeah, just got a little tour of the building. Pretty sweet place.
Yeah. What'd you see that struck you? Seeing that in that museum. There?
I just watched a little video that Joe Namath does, and that was about 20 minutes long. It was pretty cool.
Okay.
And I haven't really seen the rest of the building, just doing a couple interviews,
Okay.
and I'm sure we'll get a tour of it later.
Sure. Now, have you ever been in that building, Jim?
Never been to the Hall of Fame. I wasn't planning on it unless I got in. So
Okay.
This is kind of a treat.
All right. So when you go in that bust gallery and you see Walter Payton's bust, what would you be thinking of when you see that, Jim?
Well, it's just great memories of being with him. He was not only a great football player, just a great guy to be around. You know, loved him in the locker room. It was just a pleasure to play with that guy.
Mm-hmm. And what about when you see Ditka's bust?
Pretty much the same. I mean, I would have loved to play with Mike. He was a great football player.
Okay.
And he played the game the way it was supposed to be played, and I don't have any problems with Mike. I mean, we butted heads a few times in my career, but we always had the same goal, and that was to win. We just had a little different ideas on how to get that done.
Okay. And what will you think when you see Pete Rozelle's bust in that room, Jim?
I'd like to put a headband on it for him.
You know what? I think if you want to go viral on @JimMcMahon on Twitter, you just sneak a white headband with the word Rozelle on it and sneak it on that bust and take a picture with you in front of it, Jim. I'm going
to try to get that done today.
Would you please? Because I would love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that.
All right, I'll get her done.
What was it like at the time when you were doing that, though? Did you hear about it at all from Hallis, from anybody else that was in management at the time, Jim?
No, well, Hallis had passed away in '83, so
okay.
Didn't have to hear it from him. But no, it was nobody in the organization really thought it was that big a deal. I didn't think it was that big a deal. You know, like I said, I'd worn that thing I wore a headband since college, so it wasn't a big deal. The only reason the NFL got mad is because Adidas wasn't paying them at the time. So if they didn't get their money, they got upset. They got it somehow, so they fined me. Yeah,
we just showed some video from back in the day, and we saw you chatting with Bill Murray on the field before the game. I mean, what has been your I guess you've been hanging out with Bill at all? Have you ever seen him since those days, Jim?
Oh yeah, I usually go down to their Caddyshack golf tournament down in Florida every year. So I get to see all the Murray brothers, and it's always a fun time. Then they do an event in Chicago that I'm usually at.
Okay.
So I get to run into them a few times.
Okay. Jim McMahon joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. What would you describe the '85 Bears to be? If you just want somebody before they walk into that documentary, how would you describe the team, Jim?
Fun. We had a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. We had great players, but we worked hard. I mean, it wasn't no cakewalk with Ditka and Buddy Ryan going at it every day, and they kind of took it out on the players because they didn't like each other. So we took the brunt of that, but we had a great time. We had great players, great people, a lot of great characters on that team, and like I said, we had probably too much fun.
Well, which players didn't like each other, Jim?
I know Hampton had something out for me for a while. I don't know what the problem was, but other than that, I didn't have any problem with anybody on our team.
Okay.
And they didn't have a problem with me, but they talk about it, defense, offense, this and that. I mean, it was very competitive all week long. I mean, back then we were in pads every day. Wednesday through Friday we're in pads and everything's live. I mean, they don't do any of that these days. Even in training camp, they don't put pads on much. So we beat the crap out of each other for the 7 years I was there. And I think that's what took its toll as, why we didn't win more than one Super Bowl.
So,
I think we just got tired of beating each other up.
That's the reason why you would think?
I can't explain it any other way. I mean, we had this pretty much, after '85, we did lose some people. We lost, Wilbur Marshall was a huge loss. We lost Willie Gault. Teams change, but we definitely weren't the same as we were in '85.
Jim McMahon joining me here for a couple more minutes here on the Rich Eisen Show. What was the genesis of the music video? I mean, shoot, you made a Super Bowl shuffle before you actually won the damn thing. So,
right. I mean, we got approached with the ideas in early October, I believe it was, and they said, "Hey, we want to do this." They said we want to do a record to raise some money to feed the homeless on Thanksgiving and Christmas. So that's we all thought, "Hey, that's a good idea, a record." So we decided to do the record, and a couple weeks later, they came back to us and said, "Now you have to do a video." And we're saying, "No, that wasn't part of the deal." So Walter and I did not go to the taping of the video. That they ended up taping it the Tuesday after we lose to the Dolphins on Monday night. So we got home about probably 3 or 4 in the morning, and then the guys had to be at the studio at 8 or 9, and they were there for like 12 hours. And Walter and I didn't show up. We told them we weren't coming, and then they said they were going to sue us if we didn't do our part. So him and I did our parts in the racquetball court at Hallis Hall after practice one day. That was a pissed off white man you saw in that video.
All right, let me walk through this one more time. Okay, so the taping of this video that we've been seeing for decades was taped after, mostly, with the exception of you and Sweetness, after the only loss suffered by the 85 Bears?
Yep.
And then your part and Walter Payton's was
weeks after that.
Was essentially through a threat of litigation is what brought it about?
Yes.
I can't believe that, Jim. In a racquetball court at Hallis Hall.
Yep, that's where we were.
Well, who played racquetball?
But the magic of television, they superimpose you up in there.
Who played racquetball back in the day? Jim, did you play racquetball?
Oh, yeah. That's the only thing I did to stay in shape, is play racquetball. I used to play with Buddy all the time. We had some good matches.
Is that right? Who won more often than not?
I did. I'd spot him 20.
Oh, my gosh. Well, Jim, look, man, I can't wait to see this doc, man. This is going to be great. And you're on a panel with Dan Hampton, so everything's copacetic with you guys now, right?
Yeah, I run into him every once in a while. It's not like I said, I've never had a problem. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll be fun. So you're on a panel tonight and then in theaters nationwide on January 29th. Thanks for the time,
Correct.
Jim. Always enjoy it. Hope to see you soon.
All right, Rich. Appreciate it, bud.
You got it, man. That's Jim McMahon, Super Bowl champion, calling in from the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.